it, and then I was like, wait a second. I already measured all these ingredients. I might as well cook the book. Woo! So that's what we're doing today. Today we are doing the Muffin Man Muffins. By Yichas Kumer has to leave the house at 6:45 breakfast. And he has to bring breakfast. He can't eat breakfast first. So he really wanted something like sweet with him to take for him as a breakfast option. So he asked for muffins, and I was like, sure, we can make that happen. So here we are. We're over on the dairy side of my situation because these muffins are dairy. I have been getting very commonly asked if you can make them parve. You can replace, like, for parve sour cream or make your own buttermilk with almond milk. Personally, I think these are really, really good because they're dairy. They have like this really good Muffin Man texture. Like, you have to read the blurb in the book to know what I'm talking about. But like, I think they're just right dairy, and there are so many good muffin recipes out there. Like, I feel like you should stick with these being dairy and have them as like a breakfast morning treat or a Shabbos morning treat or whatever, you know, break the fast kind of thing. So we're going to jump right in. The great thing about these muffins is that they're super duper versatile. In the recipe, there's a lot of mix-in additions. Today we're going to make two kinds. We're going to do blueberry and raspberry swirl because my family loves that. And it's really simple. I happen to really, really love this picture, so we're just going to zoom in on that for a second. I love it. But I also love this recipe because I just like feel like it's the perfect on-the-go breakfast. You know, pop it in the microwave or whatever, toast it up, put a little butter on it. That's the best way to eat a muffin. And you're good to go. You have protein from the yogurt. You have, by parve sour cream, you can use that instead of yogurt. That's fine. You have like the tanginess from the buttermilk, the butter itself. It's just good stuff. Two more things I want to tell you is that I don't usually have buttermilk in my fridge. It's very easy to make. This recipe has, I think, half a cup of buttermilk. So I fill my measuring cup a little bit before the half a cup point, and then I pour it the rest of the way with white vinegar. You could use apple cider vinegar, you could use lemon juice, whatever. It's about a tablespoon of the acid per half a cup. So like, you would remove half a cup of the milk and add a tablespoon of the acid. It's very easy. And then you make your own. I want to tell you is very important. In the book, I use a hand mixer or electric beaters because I think it's easier for most people. Mine is not out right now. It's away in the room where Alicia was sleeping, so I can't go in and get it. So I'm just using a bowl and a whisk. Do not over whisk your muffins. We are not looking for air pockets. We are not looking for like light and fluffy. We're looking for a muffin. You know what I mean? Like a good solid muffin. So don't overmix them, and make sure your butter is melted and cooled. We don't want you to mix it extra with room temperature butter. We want to skip that step and make sure the butter is actually melted. Let's do a quick ingredient run through. Flour, eggs, yogurt, baking powder, baking soda, salt, vanilla, white sugar, brown sugar, buttermilk, melted butter, and then whatever add-ins you want. Okay, this is gonna go very fast, so pay attention. In a medium-sized bowl, we are going to combine our flour, our baking powder, our baking soda, and our salt, and we're just gonna get those ingredients whisked together so when we pour them into our wet mixture, we don't have to over mix it by over combining it. Now, in this bowl, this is very simple, we are going to add our butter. It literally, my whole introduction took longer than it takes to make these muffins, which I feel like is a common theme here sometimes because I have a lot to say. Okay, we're gonna whisk these together, but again, we are not over whisking until just combined. Yeah, that looks very nice. And now we're gonna add in our vanilla, get that mixed in, and we're gonna add our eggs in one at a time. Again, mixing until just combined. I mean, do you see how easy this is? Now, I have my yogurt here. I'm gonna add my yogurt. I'm gonna whisk that in until it's just combined, and then we're actually just gonna put the entire whisk away. We don't even really need it anymore. So just get that mixed up. There we go. You don't have to be too we still have more mixing to do, so don't worry about that. Get that out of here, bye-bye. And now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add our flour, but we're only adding half. And adding half at a time is actually what prevents the over mixing because we're giving it a chance to settle. Then we're gonna add in more flour and not over mix it. So let's get that combined. And then we're gonna go ahead, add in all of our buttermilk and then the rest of our flour and okay, time for our buttermilk. We want to work that in. And actually in the book, it says that once your buttermilk is worked in, to switch to a spatula to incorporate the last bits of flour. And that really is an important step. Don't discredit that. And that's really why sometimes it's important to really give the recipe a read through, because sometimes even if you see a recipe and you want to be inspired to make changes, which by the way you should, you want to get the technique. You want to see like the little bits of hidden gems that are in there, like use a spatula at the end to fold in the flour to make sure that your muffins stay really nice and dense and delicious. Okay, we're going to go in with our flour now, and now we're just going to fold it in until it's combined gently, and then we're gonna add in our mix-in and put them in muffin tins. Like, it's literally that simple. Okay, our muffin batter is ready. Look at how thick and delicious that is. It is gonna cook up really, really nicely. I urge you to give it a little taste. I know it's not politically correct, raw eggs, raw flour, stuff like that, but it is such a good batter from the yogurt and the buttermilk. It's delicious. Okay. I'm using disposable muffin tins because I don't have a dairy muffin tin, and I'm not lining it because I don't want to deal with that when I'm freezing them and stuff like that. So now, because I'm doing the raspberry swirl first, I'm just going to swirl it right in the tin. So what I'm doing is I'm putting a scoop in each one, just like so. One scoop. We're going to fill these up more though, and then I'm going to take my smaller scooper right here. I really like to use a scooper for muffins because you get an even amount. This is like an old, I think it's like a Sandra Lee tip actually from Food Network back in the day. It really is a great tip and it's very easy. I'm just literally scooping. I added all the scoops of my jelly. Like I said, you could use any jelly you want, strawberry, apricot, blueberry, mixed berry, whatever you want, go for it. I am adding one more scoop of the raspberry on top, and now I'm going to go in because I really like to know what's in my food. I like to see it, so I'm going to put a smaller scoop of the jam right on top. And last step, we can't have a raspberry swirl muffin without a swirl, so I'm going to go in with I'm using a skewer because they're bigger than a toothpick. I like them better. You could use a knife, anything you want, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to swirl this. They're going to puff up and rise anyway and look beautiful. So, you know, don't worry too much about it. And if it doesn't swirl so much, don't worry because we have 2 layers of filling in there. So it's going to be delicious no matter what you do here. And then I'm just going to add the rest of the blueberries in here and make those muffins. Done. Okay, time for the blueberries. I'm just going to go ahead and dump them in. The batter's really, really thick, so they're going to suspend in. If you're nervous about them falling, you can add like a tablespoon of flour to them to coat them, but the batter's really, really thick. As you can see, I'm just going to give it 1 to 2 folds. I really don't want to overdo my folding, again, because we don't want to overwork this batter. Get this sprayed up really well, and that's it. Scoop in your muffins. I may add 1 or 2 blueberries on top, you know, for prettiness, and get these in a 350-degree oven. I'll see you back here when they're baked. Here we go. I broke one open because I couldn't wait. I had to just take a bite and eat it, but look at that. Look at how good that looks. Filled with blueberry, filled with flavor. So delicious. That's really it. That's how simple they are. And I really can't wait to see what kind of fillings and add-ins you guys come up with. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Cook the Book. Woo, 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 woo. And we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.